Braxton. I'm from Manassas, Virginia.
Right up the road.
Born and raised in Manassas, Virginia.
I was reading your biography. You joined the Marine Corps 77 years ago to serve your country, and you thought the Marines were the best. Why were they the best to you?
Well, I had a brother in the Army and two uncles in the Army, so their uniform was just a message to me. So the Marine Corps inspired me. As a youngster growing up in Manassas, would you believe the Marines came to Manassas on liberty? I guess that was the only place for them to go, because Manassas was close by. So that was my inspiration to join the Marine Corps.
You saw those young Marines around Liberty.
Young Marines coming to Manassas.
Manassas was the place to be, I guess.
That was the only place around here then, yes.
Mm-hmm. What was the Marine Corps like for you and the rest of the Marines who trained at Montford Point 77 years ago? What were some of the challenges you might have faced?
Well, other than hell, I guess you might say that's what it was like. It wasn't inspirational at all. Well, for one thing, they told us we shouldn't be there, that we would never be Marines. And there wasn't any place for black Marines.
How did you and your fellow recruits that were there, how did you respond to that?
Well, we thought about the other black units, such as the Tuskegee Airmen, the Buffalo Soldiers, and other black men and women that went through different other organizations. So we figured if they could make it, we could make it.
Excellent, excellent. You had the honor of pinning General Carter, pinning his star on his collar just recently. How did that make you feel?
Very, very good. In my young day, I never thought such a thing would happen.
Why that? You never thought you'd see an African American man become a general in the Marine Corps?
That's right.
When you see that now, when you see him as an African American with the rank of general, how does that make you feel?
Very good. A lot of changes have taken place.
Did you ever think back then, when you were a Marine back in the 1940s during World War II, that you would ever see something like that?
Never. The way they treated us and dogged us, we didn't even think we would survive until we got overseas.
What were some of the places that you served overseas during World War II?
Well, the first little island I went on was Quantico. A lot of people never heard of it and can't even spell it. And then I went to Saipan, and I ended up on Okinawa. I was on Okinawa when the two bombs were dropped.
Oh, when Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Okay. So when what were some of the duties that you had as a Marine serving overseas in the Pacific Theater?
Well, you might well say combat, little training as a combat instructor to instruct the young recruits coming overseas, and then supply. That was the biggest thing in supply.
When you were serving overseas, what were some of the challenges that you faced then?
Japs. We didn't have a challenge once we got overseas as far as integration was concerned. In other words, I tell you, those bullets didn't have black or white on them. It was a challenge, but we made it. But it was much better overseas than it was in the United States.
When you came home and you were discharged from the Marine Corps, what did you do? What was it like when you came back home from overseas and came back to the United States? And were you wearing your uniform and going out in town? What was that like? Was there any difference in respect?
Well, when I came back home from World War II, I didn't wear the uniform. I went to work and I went to school until from 46 to 1950, I was going to school and working in the government. In 1950, they volunteered me in for the Korean War. And that was different. Yeah.
How did you come to know General Carter? Or, yeah, General Carter.
Through my president of my chapter here in Quantico.
How did you feel when he asked you to pin the rank on him?
It was one of the greatest honors I ever had.
How do you think General Carter will help shape the Marine Corps?
Well, from what I heard today, I think he'll do a good job. Yeah.
He's one of now 7 general officers in the Marine Corps.
Is he?
He's African American.
7 African Americans? Oh. See, I didn't know. Well, that's wonderful.
Coba, do you have any questions?
What is it like? What is it like?
Oh.
What is it like with your history, being experiencing that, to see all that everybody has kind of progressed?
It's great to be a former Marine, and I wouldn't take anything for it whatsoever. The training, the camaraderie, and the people I've met through the Marine Corps, I wouldn't take anything for it.
How does
It's
it
good.
make you feel to see how far the Marine Corps has come since?
Good, very good, very good. Yeah.
I do have one question, sir. What was the biggest thing that you faced at recruit training?
I'm sorry.
What was the biggest adversity that you faced at recruit training?
The name that they called us and what they did to us. That was a good. Oh, thank you. Okay, brother. Okay. You finished?
Sir, what was that name, if you don't mind sharing that?
I'm sorry.
What was the name that they called you, if you don't mind sharing that?
The N word.
Was
I
there-
didn't know what my name was going through boot camp. They called me everything but by my name.
And these were white instructors?
Oh yes, yeah.
Was there anything rewarding from your experience that you were able to look back on and you felt that was rewarding or positive from recruit training to the Pacific Theater at all?
Yes, a lot of the training and the things they did, we didn't realize at the time we were going through boot camp, but it helped us once we got overseas. Yes.
I just have one last one. So was it different for you serving Korea versus World War II?
I'm sorry.
Was it different for you serving Korea versus World War II? Was it a different atmosphere?
I don't quite understand.
What were the key differences for you between serving in the Pacific Theater in World War II and serving in Korea?
Because you were in a segregated.
In the Pacific, it was hot. In Korea, it was cold.
Were you integrated by the time?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we were integrated.
Was it any better?
Oh, yeah, much better.
Much better.
Oh, much better. Everything was better. Yeah.
Is there something that you could point to that that was much different from between besides the cold and the heat? Working together with white Marines, is there anything positive that happened in Korea that you can point to?
Once we were integrated, you didn't tell the difference. I mean, the white Marines really did a lot for us in North Carolina, where we went through boot camp. I mean, when we would go out on liberty, everything was segregated, but the white Marines made sure that nobody bothered us.